So we are on episode 8.
Hopefully.
And again, we have some special guests because we have no life. And on Saturday nights, our friends hang out with us here and do podcasts.
I wasn't hanging out with you. You guys called me and said, hey, save us.
Well, yeah.
She voluntarily came.
Yeah,
it's been an interesting night.
It's my duty to save your ass, so.
Yeah. So my brother actually
it's strawberry lemonade.
Gave me
a little thing.
He came up to me with Mio and squirted the Mio in my mouth. No water, nothing. Just went,
ew.
Hey, Mio, sponsor them.
Yeah, Mio.
Hello.
Yeah.
Mio.
Mio.
Mio. We put Mio in our water and it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, but she also like.
That's my theme song. You should use that, Mio.
That's
she
our
doesn't
new
put blueberries
opening.
in it because she doesn't have ice cubes. Because
oh yeah.
She's crazy and she just left her empty ice cube trays in her freezer instead of filling them up. So we use blueberries.
I get water everywhere.
You could have just asked me. I know you're short, but your fridge is as tall as I am.
I'm
I'm actually
in
taller
the
than your
freezer.
fridge.
So
And like, you can also ask your boyfriend, who's very tall.
Yeah.
So our theories for the week, we have our friends Rhiannon and Vivian here again.
What up? Hello.
And why don't you introduce yourself so people know your different voices?
I'm Rhiannon.
I'm Vivian.
I'm a Taurus.
The Sagittarius.
I'm a Kelly. I'm a Leo.
Hey, I'm a Leo too. That's weird.
What? No way! It's like we have the same birthday or something.
So my theory is kids scarier.
Yeah, scarier.
Kids are scarier than adults. So my boyfriend's little sister, we went over to my boyfriend's mom's house. His sister is 3 years old. She puts her ear to the floor and says, "There are people here." We're like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, There are dead people here. People on, like, they don't have a basement, so it's like under their house. She was saying there's dead people.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know if it's because she's younger and she has a more sense to these things, or it's just
Something she saw.
Her saying weird stuff.
Yeah, it just creeped me out. I'm glad it didn't happen at my house.
Yeah, she would have just been like, what's those things in the field? Or something like that.
Or she'd be like, "Oh, who's that man in the corner?" And then you'd be like, "What man in the corner?"
I would just start crying, honestly. I think at that point. I would just be like, yep, I'm done.
Or being
Stubbed
like,
my toe.
Sweetie.
Oh my god. So we're not going to be talking about paranormal stuff this week.
Sort of.
We're taking a little bit of a break.
Kind of did that earlier.
Kind of.
So, we're pretty paranormal out.
We played the Ouija board a few times.
too many.
So my theory is that, one, Ouija boards are really cool, but they're not worth the risk. Because me and Kendall did talk to some people, which was really interesting.
And sad.
And sad. So we had spoke with someone that we didn't get their name, but apparently he was alive in the 1920s. And when we asked him when he died, he said River. We asked him who killed him. He said Boss. Oh, we asked if it was a guy, and he said he was a guy.
He said he was a guy.
Oh, we asked, is there anyone alive now that we could, contact you from? Or for you? And he said kids.
He said kids. Oh.
He was alive in like the 1920s, his kids would be like.
Well, like
relatives,
80-something.
relatives,
Yeah. Yeah, he seemed very nice. It was kind of
really nice.
sad because he died.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure he was murdered.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
In
murdered.
the river? Yeah, probably.
He was swimming with the fishes.
Yeah. He had a brick
That's why you
tied
don't
to
fuck
his
with the
ankle.
mob. I told you this in a different episode.
All of them?
All of them.
Maybe it was just the aliens.
Just like aliens, spies,
Alien
don't fuck with the
spies.
mob. Yeah. That's basically it. MK Ultra, yeah, that.
Yep. Don't mess with the government.
Don't do drugs.
This is your brain on crack.
Unless you have a doctor's note for it.
For crack?
No, not crack.
Because saw
Can you
doctors
get a
roll-
doctor's note for crack?
You can get a doctor's
You
note
used to be
for
able to.
Adderall. That's basically meth.
What?
Adderall is basically meth. It's like one
What?
ingredient away from meth.
That's
Yeah.
why people take it.
Wait, do people use that to make it? What the hell? My mind is blown.
Like,
Where have you been?
my grandma used to be on. They
At
used
home.
to prescribe speed to her.
Seriously?
Yeah. When they were younger, it was like years ago, so like it wasn't like a bad thing. But she always used to like say, because she had like, I think it was 5 kids, and she's always like, yeah, they used to put me on this medication, it made me lose weight, and I was able to like have all this energy, and my mom's like, they gave you speed, and she's like always like wanted it back, and it's like, no, that's not healthy.
Yeah.
Oh my
terrifying.
god.
She had like a heart problem too, so that probably didn't help.
My mother was on Vicodin. She had to get off of it because she was starting to get addicted to it.
Damn.
Like, I mean, she used it for
Hard
pain
not
medication, but like she's in so much pain all the time that she needed to be on Vicodin, but she was starting to get addicted to it, and she's like, I need to get off this. I need something else. So she soaks her feet in ice.
Ouch.
Yeah, she's got issues.
Is that where you get it?
What?
What?
My weirdness?
Your issues?
My issues are not as bad as her issues. I am just a mental issue.
Oh, we're all mental issues, so it's okay. You guys have any theories you want to talk about? Any
For your week.
my
everyday life things you want to talk about?
Okay, so my everyday life thing theory is that pregnancy is hard. Very hard. I'm almost in my 2nd trimester. Monday I'll be in my 2nd trimester. And at this point, I am tired of throwing up. And my stepmom yells at me for sleeping all the time. Do you know how horrible that
Sense
is?
that you're sleeping all the time.
You have a living being growing in you.
It's an alien.
How big is it right now?
It's the size of a Brussels sprout.
A Brussels sprout. I could eat.
Don't eat her, baby.
No.
No, but I could keep that. I could put that in my little thing in my hand.
Yeah, you can put anything up to the size of like an apple in your hand
But,
because
like,
you're tiny.
I could see it in my
I
hand.
could fit a potato in my hand.
Exactly. You guys have small hands. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Very tiny.
I could fit
Yeah.
babies bigger than a potato.
I hope so too.
That's pretty much like goals. You want your baby pretty big.
Like watermelon size.
Not that big. Like
Like
melon? Melon size is pretty.
Yeah.
It's a good size.
Oh,
A
yeah.
good
Like a
size
cantaloupe?
watermelon.
Cantaloupe.
Yeah, cantaloupe.
God,
Sorry, I can't elope. It's one melon talking to another melon, and then the one melon says,
we should get married.
and then the other one goes, sorry, but we can't elope.
My week, I was sick yesterday and even had some interviews this week, so hopefully I get one. Have some more next week. And some more job interviews set up, 2 set up, so hoping for the best.
Yay!
I just got a weird chill.
Oh,
Yeah,
Vivian,
awesome.
you're grounded.
I'm grounded.
You're grounded, Vivian.
From what?
I'm sitting in a chair full of salt. You don't need to hand me any more salt.
We put salt everywhere.
Just saying.
This is why we're not talking about paranormal stuff right now.
This is why we don't play with Ouija.
Ouija boards.
Don't do it, kids.
Just
Or
don't do it.
adults.
Kids.
Anybody.
In general.
Don't do it.
Anyone.
Don't touch 'em.
No.
Ever.
Don't mess with them.
We used to say, like, that if you have positive energy, it's fine, but,
No.
yeah. Don't put your energy into something that could unlock the door to the other side.
That's literally what my mother just yelled at you.
I know, she did
And
yell
that's
at me,
so
and I
much-
deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, I probably would do it again.
Nope.
Kelly, you're
No.
grounded.
No. Your house is the only one that's not haunted. You probably don't want spirits in here, just saying.
This place is too small for spirits.
See? They probably are like, ugh, all these cats around.
No,
Don't want to deal with this.
the
one guy we-
Vietnam.
That was weird.
Where were you guys at? Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You guys didn't have any... Oh, you did that at your house.
What?
The Ouija board. The Stranger Things one.
I didn't do that in my house.
You did that here?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you need to freaking dunk that in some salt water, too.
I got the plancadadla.
Planchet?
Okay, let's get into our theories. So, this week we're doing children's stories.
Oh.
But not children fairy tale stories. We are doing weird conspiracy theories that involve children.
Horror stories you don't want your children to listen
Because
to.
basically, like Kendall said, kids are freaking creepy.
Yeah.
And that brings us into Kendall's story.
So this week I'm going to be talking about past life regressions. This is something that a lot of people use to recover past memories of lives or reincarnations. So some people think these are fantasies or delusions, but a lot of times people can look up and find the people that they were before. So we'll kind of get into that a little bit about like my theories on what it is. Most reincarnation comes from different religious practices. A lot of it like Buddhist.
Judaism.
Okay.
Buddhism, basically?
Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism.
It just says religion traditions. So I have 4 different signs that you may have had a past life. The
Ooh.
old familiar feeling. I got this from Dr. Brian Weiss.
Like Janet Weiss from
What are you talking about?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I've never seen
Just a
that.
step to the left, and a foot to the right.
Put your hands on your hips.
Are we doing the
Na,
time
na,
warp
na,
again?
na, na. And do the pelvic thrust. That's the only part we know.
Not insane. Okay, that's it.
Are we doing the time warp again?
You better wise up, Janet Weiss. Okay, now we're done.
Oh my god. Okay, so one way. Oh boy.
Oh, Vivian.
We are a joy to be together. It's just.
We're sober.
There's been no alcohol here.
Just
Lots of salt.
So what
Yeah.
is this, Melanie?
There's a lot of salt, no margaritas.
watermelon juice.
Oh.
Alright.
Is it actually watermelon juice?
Mhm. There's other fruit in there, but
So you murdered a watermelon?
Murdered.
Nope,
sliced
someone
to
else-
death
someone
juice.
else murdered it.
Okay, you're just cannibalizing it.
Yes,
I understand.
exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
And drinking its sweet, sweet blood.
It's innards.
Oh God,
It's
No.
crushed up innards of juiciness. Okay.
I hate all of you.
Clary.
I'm glad you caught that. Thank you.
So one way to know that you've had a past life is to have old familiar feelings. Dr. Brian Weiss says one of the most common signs of past lives is deja vu. The sensation that you have met a person before or have visited someplace previously. Sometimes this deja vu feeling is a sign of a past life with a particular person or a specific place. But some people actually think that the deja vu is just kind of like a lapse in your brain, that you think you've seen it before, but that's all speculation.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What I've heard about deja vu too is that there's so many different things that happen in your life
Mm-hmm.
and circumstances. So if you see a circumstance that you've seen before or it like relates to something else, then it might just be that and not actually you thinking that it happened and you don't remember.
Because your brain files things away for later use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Another sign is that your dreams are so real, it's like you're actually there. If you have vivid, detailed dreams of yourself in different times and places, this might be a past life memory. It may contain symbols and metaphors that need to be interpreted so that their meaning and message can become clear.
Does he say anything about having dreams that show anything in the future? Because, like, I had a dream that I met you and John.
Weird. It's almost like
I've had, like, so many, like, different dreams, like, in the future, and they all come true, and it's like, holy shit kind of thing.
That's crazy, but I think that's more like clairvoyant, because this wouldn't be involved with your past lives.
I mean, it could be
Unless
like a side
we
effect,
were involved in your past lives.
But I don't know.
Maybe. And that's why, because you were just seeing the past, and we were in your past?
I don't think so, friend, because...
No?
No, that was this time.
Okay. Well, it's still very interesting and kind of crazy that...
I'm a messed up person. I think we've already gone over this.
No, I think we're all pretty, like, in tune to spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, number 3 is being very good without even trying. Some talents and abilities, likes and dislikes, and attractions can also be clues to past lives. So if you're drawn to certain people, certain cultures that have very, like, and not at all like anything you witnessed before, then this might be a possibility that you have a past life.
Kendall, you're just looking at Vivian.
No, I was like, do you need to say something? Okay, you're.
Not
like,
about this stuff.
like, if you have an intense interest in certain historical events, like
Ooh.
me, I like go crazy for the 1920s. I love the 1920s.
Me too, and World War II.
Yeah, like there's something drawing you there.
My mom thinks that she was a slave, like, before the Civil War. And she was, like, not infatuated, she was in a relationship with her, owner.
Wow.
Who was also
What?
a woman. Like, my mother was a lesbian slave in her past life.
Wow.
Which is so crazy and
That's
unheard
weird.
of. But, like, she
That's
would, like,
insane.
run away with, like, her
Aww.
owner.
Aww.
Which she actually found out in this life, who that person was in this life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is cool.
Well, I mean, it would be, but the person's a little crazy.
But
she's bipolar and crazy as
yeah,
hell,
but still, to be able to find that person again is kind of remarkable. So, the last reason, another thing that might mean you have a past life, is you have a soulmate. It's very common to travel through different lives with the same groups of souls. These are called groupings. Soulmates or soul companions are soul families.
Me and Vivian are soulmates.
Felt it from film. I can't speak today.
From
We felt it when we first met each other.
Love at First
yeah.
Sight.
No.
It was almost, but no, different. Almost like we knew each other already.
Because I don't open up to people very well.
Yeah.
And I opened up to my husband now, and then also Kelly, like, really, really easily the, like, first day, and that doesn't happen. And I also, like, felt like I knew her
Yeah.
from something, so
I think you were just forced to open up to me.
it's okay. I liked you.
Harry Potter does that to people.
Oh my gosh. So it says relationships may change from life to life, but souls are the same. So it might be where you switch from one person being the mother to one person being the daughter, and different things like that. There's some times where you meet someone and they have something. You don't know what it is, but you've never met them before, and you have a draw to them. It might be because you had them in your past lives.
I can see that.
Anyway, so, like, what's crazy is that I thought that my ex, Zachary, had, like, at least one past life, but he was, like, so against the idea that he actually got, like, angry at me. Like, he's just like, no, I don't believe in that, it's not real, kind of thing. And I'm just like, I feel like you've had a past life, kind of thing. 'Cause
I
he
wonder
has, like,
if it
that
was.
soul feeling, you know?
I wonder if it was so intense and bad that he's blocking it off, and that part of him could be so furious to not relive those memories. Maybe?
It's possible. I mean, he also had, like, a really very strict Christian upbringing.
Oh, well, you can be Christian and believe in this, because I feel like it's, I mean, from a Christian perspective, you don't exactly know what happens when you pass away. So maybe God gives people the ability to redo their life or something, you know. You never know. But I can understand why people would think that it wasn't wasn't Christian to believe in it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So in most cases, a lot of people who start to learn or see that they've had a past life are very young children that bring up specific details of lives that they would have no prior information about. So there was actually a young boy who was named after his dad's friend in the military.
Who passed away.
Who passed away, yep. So he was named after him, but he was only 3 years old. They hadn't really told him, hey, you're named after this man. So they were driving down the street, going towards the base for some reason, and he hadn't ever been there before. And then they had, like, a graveyard, which had all the soldiers in it. And then the boy points out the window and says, hey, Dad, that's where I'm buried. And he's pointing right at the grave.
Nope.
Of the man
Holy shit.
that he was named after.
That's so weird.
And
so
the fact that
creepy.
he was reincarnated
As a son?
as the person that he was named after. It's just crazy.
Yeah, but he was in the military with this guy.
Yeah.
And he was named after him, but also his son. Does that make sense? This guy that he went in the military with
Yep.
is his son.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
It's crazy.
Really cool, actually.
So there's been a lot of different cases. I don't know if any of you have seen The Ghost Inside My Child. It's a show that basically talks about kids and how they will go back into their past lives. And mostly this happens around the age of 3. That's when you start, like, really developing memories and start developing into you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these memories or thoughts talking about your past life end around the age of 6, which is usually when you tend to go to school and start developing your individuality. So there was actually a boy that he was telling his mom that his name was Pam, and every single one of his toys he would name Pam. Every single one of his toys.
Weird.
And his mom's like, I've never talked about this name before. Why are you bringing this up? And the little boy says, oh, that was my name. She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, before, when I was older, that was my name. My name was Pam. And then he says,
Jeez.
and then he describes, like, a city that she lived in, and that there was, like, he moves his hands around and he says, there was this mom, and he was talking about fire, and he said, I had to jump.
God damn it.
So,
like 9/11?
So she ended up looking it up, because she got to the point where he was talking about this so vividly. She brought him to counselors, and they analyzed him, and it was something that they're like, this is not just a childhood fantasy. There must be something more going on. So they go and look in the records, and they discover there was a huge fire in Chicago.
Oh, I think I've heard of this fire.
Yeah, and they looked up, and they found an African-American woman named Pamela. So they put out a bunch of pictures of African-American women, and they said to their son, they said, pick which one was you. And then he picks the one that was Pam.
That is so great.
And he says,
I have chills, dude. Like, that's so
and then he
crazy.
says, I know when this picture was taken. I was taking my ID picture, and then goes into all these details.
Oh my god.
It's
That's
a 3-year-old.
So crazy.
So he,
And she jumped out the window.
she jumped out the window and ended up passing away. So in this episode, they actually had the family come and meet the boy. And he would tell them certain things and saying, like, you know, she was happy, everything's good, and she loves you. So it's kind of really good for the family to have that closure.
Right.
So, and it's just, and by the time he ended up turning 6, he he appreciated his former life, but then he kind of moved into his new life and didn't talk about it too much. But I can just imagine it's so moving to be able to like reconnect with someone that had passed away. That was one of the most moving ones that I saw.
That's so crazy, and to think, like, they're children, so it's not like, sometimes with mediums or people, you think, oh, maybe they're, like, trying to trick you or, like, scam you, but, like, they're kids, like, they're 3 years old, like, they're not, you can tell when a kid is, like, purposefully lying about something, like, they're just completely honest about it. It's crazy.
And, well, there's no way for them to know some of this information that they know, being their age, if they never were taught. And then that same boy, he actually said that I died, went to heaven, and I came back down. And their family wasn't very religious, so they didn't talk about heaven too much. It was kind of something that was really out there. Wow. So it's just crazy. I'm going to go into some of my theories. So, some of my theories, I was thinking that it is something where each person gets an expanded amount of life. And what you do in that life kind of takes up a certain amount of energy. So not everyone will have tons of lives. So not everyone's going to have 10 different reincarnations. Like, each person will go through different stages and, like, levels to see, like, they might have 3 or 10 and depending on how moving or powerful your previous life was, it might affect your new life differently.
Do you think, though, like I said, I'm skeptical. I believe this is real, but do you think that some of it is maybe, like, kids are just really good at, like, guessing certain things, or, like, they see something on TV and they're just saying something? Like, how do you know?
It is possible that something is going on here, but the fact that so many people have felt this or experienced things with this, that, especially just deja vu. So many people experience deja vu.
Yeah, and there's also, like, stories where people have, like, extreme amount of detail that no one else could have.
That it's, like, almost, it's, like, impossible for kids that young to even know, So I can understand skeptics, especially people that are very religious. They don't want to believe that because they believe in different things. But there is a lot of evidence proving it.
And so, like, the kids, after they reach a certain age, like, they kind of, like, move on, or did they don't remember?
Usually they move on. I mean, they still remember, but it's kind of just like they almost let go of that because they're still developing into their new life.
Okay. That makes sense.
What my theories is, I don't necessarily believe in reincarnation with animals and plants and all those different things, because I think that would get a little too intense. I definitely
like people turning into plants and animals and stuff.
I'm more into, like, the human past life reincarnation.
Okay. Something
more
with
that.
A soul kind of thing.
Yeah, more like with a soul.
I mean, how do we know if animals don't have souls?
That is true. But I also know that plants have feelings too.
So do dogs.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is very likely, but it's something that I, at least not now, believe in. I could be swayed, but that's what I think right now.
So, Kendall, you say you think plants have feelings, and yet you don't ever water your plants? You're a murderer.
Oh my gosh.
Cold-blooded murderer.
In my defense, my cat usually just eats it anyways.
In your defense, maybe you should control your cat.
I do. I'm hurting my plants.
Poor plants.
Now I feel bad.
You need to go to plant jail.
Plant jail.
You don't get a get out of jail free card out of that one. permanent plant jail.
How do you get out of plant jail?
You actually successfully raise a plant.
They give you a seed when you walk in the first day, and then
Yeah, you get a
have to-
lima bean seed.
Yeah.
You must
so hard.
sow your seed.
So
Kill,
your
like,
seed.
everything. I have like succulent sounds and cactuses, and
I had a barrel
they're
cactus.
living. So
You
I
don't
killed
have to
I
water
only killed
them.
one.
I've
One
killed a
succulent.
succulent.
I killed the cactus.
Just
and
get a
the
barrel
succulent.
cactus. You
I
only
had,
have to
like,
water it like once a month.
A brown thumb.
A brown
A
thumb.
brown thumb. Your
I have fake
your thumb is
plants.
full of shit.
I just like the way the plants look, and I killed them all.
Yeah, no, I kill all my plants. I should live in Arizona, like my grandma.
New Mexico, it's dry.
Yep.
And warm.
New Mexico's right next to Arizona.
Alright.
Yeah, but New Mexico actually has like a thing there. What's the thing that I'm thinking of?
What?
A national park. But it's a forest. It's
Oh.
the petrified wood.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I was like, where are you
Roswell?
going?
Okay, so if anyone actually wants to figure out their past life, you can either go to their special therapist you can go to that can put you in hypnosis and take you back and discover your past lives. Which some people aren't sure about this because it might be giving you false memories, and that's why I never got hypnotized in the past. But there is a way for you to actually do it at home also.
Ooh, tell me how.
There's different things you can read up on and try to kind of like self-hypnosis
Oh.
to try to do it.
It's just hardcore meditating, basically.
I'd like to try that. That'd be really interesting.
I sent you guys a thing in the group chat.
Ooh.
It's, again, Brian Weiss. It's Past Life Regression thing. It's like a 36-minute video on YouTube.
Oh.
You just
Cool.
listen to it
It's really
and
interesting.
he walks you through everything.
I never had like the past life hypnosis, but I have been hypnotized. I'm halfway able to be hypnotized, so I don't know if that past life would work even.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's literally you meditating, so
Oh.
it's not really
Yeah.
hypnotism. It's just you
More like-
relaxing and,
Oh, I could get down with it.
yeah.
It's more like hypnosis is all about you having the ability to let someone take over and trusting them.
I don't
And
think I could do that.
I don't think I could do it either.
I don't think I trust people enough that well.
I think I trust like you guys if you wanted to do it. But
Yeah, my sister.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean,
Kendall.
like-
Appreciate it. I'm leaving.
Everyone in this room.
no, yeah, like I would do it with you guys.
Yeah. No, but I have done the Brian Weiss thing like twice, and both times I have found out that I've had like 8 past lives.
Oh.
So yeah,
Do you know anything about your past lives?
I recommend that video. But my like first time doing that, I was like a Native American, like
Cool.
shaman person.
Oh.
And I was like a really scrawny young boy. And I don't know, that's probably why I was a shaman, because I wasn't strong enough to be a hunter. And I remember like this tree, it was like a really thick, big ass tree, like Spanish moss hanging down from it, and I'm almost 100% sure it's from Roanoke. Almost 100% sure.
No.
I'm at least 95%. That's close enough though, right?
What, Kendall?
Yes?
I'm freaking out because like
Big ass tree.
this was our topic in our fourth episode. We were talking about Roanoke.
Oh my
You need to go back and figure out what happened.
I think, okay, so with
Did
that
you write
video,
it in the tree?
with the video, he's like, you need to like see what you were in that life, and then you need to find out how you died.
Oh.
So I had died as an old man. So I had died before the whole the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had died before the whole zombie thing.
The zombie thing, is that what you
It's totally
believe?
a zombie thing. Like,
They just ate each other.
like
yeah.
supernatural, the
Cannibalism.
zombie thing.
Yeah.
Ate the bones. Bone marrow is good for you. As long as
Oh.
you cook it.
Stop. Stop it.
Ew.
Get out.
Leave
You
this
are
place.
banned from my house.
That's not
I'm gonna hit you with a Ouija board.
Fine, you're banned from my apartment.
Oh. That's not the Ouija board. That's a real threat there.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to.
That's like saying I'm not being your friend anymore. That's what you're saying.
No, take it back.
No, you're worth not doing it.
So, pretty sure I was part of the Roanoke thing, but before that.
Oh.
Weird. That is
I'd like
so
to
interesting.
know. I haven't had anything that I can really think of, but it would be really interesting to look at and see if there's anything. I'd like to believe that I had some sort of past life.
That video, he has like this voice that kind of just lulls you into like a relaxed mode. And they have like weird music playing in the background. I don't know what it's called.
I don't want to play with it.
It
not to like play with it, but to experience it.
Yeah.
Better word for it.
Yeah.
It'd be good to understand your current life by seeing what you did in your past life.
Knowing
I
your
was a
past
healer
helps your
in one of
future.
my lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be really cool.
that was my interesting thing about children. Creepy.
Ooh, yeah.
Creepy children. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool, though.
Going over the creepy children thing, apparently when I was a baby, my aunt, Becca, didn't like me. Because she's like, this girl has old eyes. She has an old soul, and she did not like it at all. She thought I was creepy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you were an old man in your past life.
I was not an old man.
You said that. You said you
I
died
was
as an old man.
but I also had 8 different lives.
That is true.
Could be one of them.
This one would be my 9th.
So
Which-
you're a cat, basically.
Yes. This is my last one. Love you guys.
No. It's fine.
It's
I
fine.
could totally see us being married in a past life. Or a current life.
It's possible. I don't know.
Okay, so my story.
Love you, Kenny.
Love you.
This is. Let's get rid of all this.
Do do
Do do do do do.
Who is
My phone
texting
is like
me?
freaking out. I don't know why.
Okay.
Like the screen keeps coming on and off.
Are you ready?
There's nothing doing it.
So, this is the Sodder Family Disappearances.
I know this story and it's so creepy.
So, George Sodder immigrated to the U.S. from Italy around the 1920s. He worked odd jobs to survive, including on a railroad and as a driver. He eventually opened his own trucking company, married a woman named Jenny. So she was also an Italian immigrant. So George and Jenny Sodder moved to Fayetteville, West Virginia. They were a very popular They were a very popular couple in the community. However, George did have very strong political beliefs. He was anti-fascist, fascism, that type of thing. And he was a strong protester of Mussolini. So on December 24th, 1945, Christmas Eve, tragedy struck the family. So George and their 2 sons went to sleep for the night, and before Jenny went to sleep, she decided to let the kids stay up a little bit later, and as long as they did their chores, she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. So she woke up at 12:30 in the morning because the phone had rang. She ran downstairs to answer the phone, and when she answered, she didn't know the person on the other line. It was a woman who asked for someone she didn't know. She's like, oh.
Like Alice or something?
Yeah, it was something weird, like
Something
a name that
creepy. Yeah, it was like really creepy.
was really weird.
I watched a TV special on it.
And so, yeah, it was weird. And then Jenny heard like loud clinking, like of glasses over the phone.
What?
And the woman just started laughing.
No.
And, which I was thinking, like, maybe this is just like a butt dial, a wrong number situation.
No, that seems wrong.
Like, it was Christmas Eve, and it was at, like, 12:30 at night. Like, maybe it was just someone, like, oh, I called the wrong number. Like, I don't know. I mean, it was really hard to call people, too, during that time, because you had to go, like, you had to move it in a circle and then go back to the next one.
The rotary phone. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
My grandpa used to have one.
At that time, didn't you have to, like, wait on an operator, too?
Oh, yeah, I think you might have.
Mm-hmm.
There was streets that had, like, the full street was one phone line.
So you could listen in on other people's conversations.
Which would be fantastic.
Because you're creepy that way.
Yes. I want to know everyone's secrets.
You are
But
scary. You're a force to be reckoned with.
But I also, like, don't want to really spend that much time with people. But I do.
You want to know how to hurt people.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh, you're making me sound horrible.
You are horrible.
Thank you.
So, either way, if this has anything to do with what happens next, it's super strange.
I have a quick question. You
Yeah.
said he was a protester of Mussolini. Who was Mussolini?
Yeah.
Mussolini was an Italian politician who was part of the fascism party.
Cool. That sounds horrible.
He was, I think that he was kind of a dictator.
He was the prime minister
Prime minister. Yep.
of Italy.
I know things.
Ooh.
Italy. Yeah.
Google.
That's a place.
Italia. Yeah.
You're welcome. Italia. Okay. No, stop. Cut that out. Okay.
Have you ever watched Italia?
No, what is that?
Italia?
No.
Okay, it's so cute. I feel like you would love it. It's basically like the personification of all the countries.
Oh.
There's this one called Axis Powers. I think it's like the first season.
Oh, I think I've seen this before.
Where it's basically like World War II. And it's like Italy, Germany, and Japan are like being all grumpy, and America is just like whatever, and Canada's just
funny.
like, I'm not America.
Is that one where I saw the video where like someone was two countries were dating? It was
I
like
think so.
Britain and America,
Oh my gosh.
and they were like fighting.
They're actually like brothers in the anime
Yeah.
or the show. The main top ship is Germany and Italy. But yeah.
Oh, that show, it's so cute.
Italia. Yeah,
No.
you can just cut that out.
No, but that's cool.
Sorry about
I
that.
like it. So, was really strange. She noticed the lights were on, which is not normal because normally the kids would turn the lights off after they were done milking the cows and doing the chores, and they would normally close the curtains. So the lights were on, which was really weird. She figured that they forgot, or that they went up to their bedroom in the attic, and she went back to bed. So around 1 o'clock, she woke up because there was a strange noise on the roof. But basically she ignored it, that there was a strange noise on the roof. Maybe it was Santa. It was December 24th. Anyways, yeah.
Like, no, it's just a noise. It's the house settling.
I mean, that's what I would do too. I'm like, oh, hey, it's just whatever. I'm just going to ignore it.
Snow falling off the roof.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, 30 minutes later, the family woke up because there was smoke. And their office room was on fire. And it was spreading really fast. So, George, Jenny, Sylvia, Marion, John, and George Jr. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say, they have 9 kids.
Oh my gosh.
Literally my life.
And so, 4 of the kids escaped with the 2 parents. And 5 of the kids normally slept in the they have like a huge attic room.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't get out of the attic room. So,
Those addicts.
yeah, so George tried to get upstairs.
You have issues with addicts.
Oh my gosh, attics are awful.
Just like
Attics and
closets.
Yeah.
Attics and closets, you just
Mirrors.
don't have them.
Yeah.
Mirrors.
Oh yeah, going back to the old
Just
episode
all
that
the
we've already
things.
done. Stay out of the closet. Oh yeah, it's Pride Month too.
Be
so
you.
get out of the closet.
Yeah,
Get out of
there.
the closet.
Embrace
Don't be in the
the
closet.
love.
So, the 2 parents and 4 kids escaped. And George was trying to get the other kids out of the attic room. He tried to go for the ladder that was normally on the side of the house, by the barn, and he could not find the ladder anywhere, which was super weird because
that's kind of sketch.
Because he normally would use it, and it was no longer there, so he couldn't do it. So he tried multiple ways to like climb up the house. He even tried to turn on the cars to see if he could like get them close enough to the house so he could like climb up. And he attempted to climb up by himself, but he ended up cutting his arm very deeply, and he was like bleeding, and it was awful. They couldn't get up there, so none of the cars would start, which was really weird. They had 2 cars. The ladder was completely gone. So the oldest daughter, Marion, ran to a neighbor's house to get help and to call the fire department. No one from the fire department answered. So they ran to another house down the street to see if maybe they could get an answer, and no one answered again. They couldn't get a hold of anyone at the fire department.
Well, it's also like Christmas Eve, too.
Right, but you would think that they would have some sort of firefighter on duty.
Like one person at least.
Right, exactly. So the house fully burned down in about 30 to 45 minutes.
Wow.
But it took the firefighters 7 hours to get there.
That is so crazy. I mean, okay, so how far apart were these houses?
I mean, not far. The fire department was like
a couple miles
5 miles away or something.
That's...
So they couldn't get a hold of the fire department at their house because something was going on. Their house was on fire. The other house, they couldn't get a hold of them?
Yeah, like no one would answer.
So, I mean, if you're thinking maybe if their house is like a mile away, it takes me an hour to walk to a house.
Right.
So if they're running, it'd take...
But they would need the firefighter things. I don't know what they need. Like water and stuff, the hoses and stuff.
Preparation and things like that, because nobody was ready on I was going to say Halloween, Christmas Eve.
And Christmas. Yep, and so what I have written down is the fire chief actually said that no one was available to drive the truck because he didn't know how to drive the truck because it was the 1920s, I guess. And it wasn't as common to know how to drive. Well, and they were low on men because of the war and because it was Christmas Eve. So they couldn't. Oh, sorry, my cat just jumped on the thing. He's watching over us.
Okay, he gets it.
He's an evil cat.
Well, it was like that when I worked at the hospital. When I worked like Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, it was only like the specific people, like only the least amount of people at the hospital at that time. So, you know, if you went to go and try to get a very important doctor for surgery, it would take them a while to get that specific person.
Yeah, and like this is also like the 1920s, so it would take time, but 7 hours.
Yeah, that's a long.
It's a
long
bit
time.
Overkill.
Yeah.
Well.
Get it?
Well,
What happened? Please continue.
So they thought that the 5 children had burned in the fire, and they were really obviously torn up. They thought 5 of their kids had died. I mean, this is probably why.
A couple.
Yeah, right? This is
irrechangeable.
I know. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say something similar, where this is why people had a bunch of kids because not many would survive to adulthood.
Oh my god.
It's so bad.
True, though.
It's somewhat true, which is really sad.
I mean, it's not sad.
And they lived on a farm too, so they needed the hands.
Yeah, and also they didn't know birth control, so it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
If it was, it's very medieval.
Or people didn't believe in it.
People still don't believe in it, so let's...
I mean, let's skip that. Let's skip over that political conversation.
Sorry.
You be you. Okay, anyways. So, they thought that the 5 children had burned in the fire. But weird things started showing up that didn't make sense and put doubts in the family and the public's mind. One thing that I didn't mention before was that the ladder that they thought was missing was actually in an embankment 4 miles away.
What?
And it was their ladder.
So someone had to have taken
Something weird happened.
it. So that's very convenient that was missing
Yeah,
that day.
like
That night.
they knew that they
And
were
I'm
gonna
sure-
purposefully go up there.
I'm sure he used it semi-recently too.
Yeah. So the first theory is that the fire was electric and the children were burned in the fire. One thing that happened that initially made them think, hey, maybe they didn't actually burn in the fire, was that there was no bones found in the house, no remains. And so they did end up finding small bones like later on, like many years later in the house, but the family had actually filled the basement to create a memorial. So completely, like, the house burned down, they filled the basement and they put out flowers and different stuff for the family. And they're
That's, like, really shitty job. Like, we're just gonna fill this, not actually look for the bones.
Evidence?
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They didn't actually look for the bones? They
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. I thought they
This
just
I
was
said
like...
this was years later.
Oh, oops.
This was like 5 or 6 years later. They looked for bones. They looked for evidence. The police searched everything. They couldn't find anything.
Okay.
And so, this is like many years later. I'm going in terms of each of the theories and not necessarily chronological. So this theory was that it was electrical fire. There isn't anything they could have done about it, and the kids died.
Mm-hmm.
However, they did test the bones that they did find, and they ended up being from a 17 to a 20-year-old, which wasn't any of the ages of the people that supposedly died. And they think that it must have just been dirt from a local cemetery and not actually those kids.
Jeez.
So,
Creepy.
let's get into arson. Yay, arson.
I feel like that's like probably the one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, skeptics would say that there was no bones found anywhere in the house. After this, Jenny was also skeptical. She took it upon herself because she was a badass mom. And she's like, I'm going to burn some animal bones and see what happens. And see if they would be cremated. And it didn't work. There was bones. So she went to a local scientist, and he stated that to cremate the 5 bodies, it would require 2,000-degree flames burning for 2 hours. And the house was not that hot, and it only burned for 45 minutes before the entire house burned down.
Mm-hmm.
So
it couldn't have been an electrical fire.
Yeah, and they weren't there.
Yeah.
According to this.
Yeah, 'cause there'd be
Like,
remains
what happened?
and teeth and...
Yep,
bones.
exactly. Also, one thing that they noted when they were running out of the house is that all the lights were on when the fire started, which means it wouldn't be an electrical fire.
Wait, so the mom earlier had noticed that the lights were still on. She just went to bed
Yeah.
instead of turning them off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I would do that too, because I'm lazy, but
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck it.
I get it.
She was like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
It was Christmas Eve. They're probably like, whatever.
But whatever. We're going to be up in a few hours. Anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, if the lights were on, it couldn't have been an electrical fire because there's no way it would have turned all the lights off.
Mm-hmm.
And also the electricity was checked earlier that year and they had no issues. So it was really weird. So, the second theory, going into arson, obviously, but there was an insurance salesman that had visited the house earlier that year. George refused to buy any insurance from him, and he said, quote, "Your house is going up in smoke. Your children will go up in flames."
What?
Yeah. He also mysteriously mentioned Mussolini while he was saying this, which
he was like an
seems
insurance
odd.
collector? Like...
He was an insurance salesman that lived in the town.
Okay.
So I'm sure that he probably knew him and his fascism views and all of that.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
When the courts went ahead to decide what had happened, basically if it was an electrical fire, if it was arson, this same insurance man was on the jury to determine what had happened. And they had decided, who the fuck didn't check, like, maybe he might be involved in this.
I feel like that's why now we have to have, like, an unbiased opinion.
Yeah, why they have to, like, go from, like, they just pick people from random. Like, it's not people in town.
Yeah, like, you can't know them from Adam, so.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I love that saying. Don't know them from Adam.
So, he was on the jury, and they decided that it was electrical fire. That's what the courts decided.
Coincidence.
Nice.
Interesting. Also, one of the kids that was still alive, obviously, or still around, mentioned that... Sorry. Mentioned that there was a creepy man that was watching them for months. He would sit at their bus stop, and they're thinking that he might have planned it, or
he was scoping it out.
He was working for someone else, which goes into my next theory.
That's so creepy.
The mob.
Oh, dude, totally. Totally.
So, the theory is that the kids were captured by the mob. Although George was popular, he did have strong political beliefs.
Especially against Mussolini.
Yeah, and a lot of people question why he left Italy. They say he might have been a spy or a fugitive that had escaped and fled to America.
He's an alien.
He's an alien. Aliens and spies. This theory is that the children were all captured and taken from their parents, and then the mob people started the fire so that no one would look for the kids, basically. There was a witness in Charleston that claimed to have seen the kids with 4 adults, all of Italian descent, although this was never confirmed by the police. Also, another witness believes she saw them at a diner that she worked at as well.
Maybe the
also
police,
in Charleston.
Maybe the police were bought out by the mob, and that's why it was not confirmed.
Well, it sounded like the city that they lived in was like very much Italian. So
where'd you say they were from? Not from, but
Fayetteville, West Virginia, I believe. I believe it was a town mostly of Italian
so immigrants. I'm sure they could band together and kind of, if someone was bothering them, get stuff done.
So my next theory is that it was a police cover-up. So, it may have been a police and firefighter cover-up. The fire chief, F.J. Morris, the one that conveniently didn't know how to drive the fire truck and didn't make it there for 7 hours, he claimed that he had found a heart in the house. Found the remains of a heart in the house.
Oh, in the what?
Yeah.
Burned down.
Yeah, but no bones, but a heart. Okay? So, obviously, this didn't match up with the bones theory. And it turned out to be real. They found a heart in the house, which was really weird.
What?
So, the police...
They planted it.
Planted it there. Basically, what he said was to give the family reassurance that their kids died.
That's not possible.
Yeah, there'd be
That's not
bones.
legal.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, maybe if they, like, purposely, or if they were mad about him, about his political beliefs or something, but obviously it was super weird. So, these are just other weird things that I have. Those are the main theories. Another theory is that they were sold to an orphanage, which I was like, how does that happen? I don't know. That was just another theory I saw.
Sold? Like, their parents just sold
like,
them?
they were in an orphanage in, like, a different country. Okay. And they, like, had a picture or something. It reminds me of the Amelia Earhart thing where there was, like, a picture. They're like, oh, yeah, that's totally Amelia Earhart. And it was, like, a blurry picture. Like, no. No, it's not real.
Yeah, kind of like how John Bonet is Katy Perry.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, these are all some of the weird stuff that has happened, which can't be explained. It's all very weird. So, a strange man was witnessed, or according to a witness, strange man stole from the Sodders' garage when the fire was burning. He had stolen the ladder and attempted to cut their power line, but he instead cut the phone line, and the ladder was found very far away in the embankment, like I said. So for some reason, this man was For some strange reason, this man was never looked at as a suspect.
What?
He was only ordered to pay fines for stealing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like today, that would be classified as like.
Yeah.
I don't know, intentional manslaughter at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
but
not
they didn't.
More murder.
They're like,
Rape.
oh, well, he just happened to steal the ladder at the same time that their house was burning down, and it had nothing to do with him.
I feel like that would also be like conspiracy to murder or something like that.
Yeah, like
something crazy like that. Yeah.
Like it would definitely like be more than fining.
You'd be in felon prison. Felon
Yeah,
prison.
because it's multiple murders too. You're like, oh yeah, he just stole some stuff that would have caused them to escape. No, not a big deal.
So there was also a bus driver who saw fireballs, quote, quotation, fireballs, being thrown onto the house before the fire started. So this might have been what Johnny was hearing on the roof.
Oh.
So this claim was further backed up by the following spring when Sylvia, one of the younger kids, found a green shell in the yard. So the Sodders showed, wow, that was like tongue twister. The Sodders, whoa, I can't, okay. They showed the object to a military friend who believed it was explosive device similar to a napalm bomb.
Oh. And the police didn't find that one of the girls did?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the police didn't. Basically, they did an awful job. It was just like, oh, it was just an electrical fire. And they just, yeah. So.
Someone might have got paid off there.
But also in 30 years or so after it happened, there was a photograph sent to Jenny of someone that might have been their older son, Lewis. And so on the back it said something like, oh, this is my whatever, I miss you, Mom, something like that.
Oh. Sounds like a fake, you know?
Yeah.
Like trying to mess with them.
Yeah. So, which seemed really weird. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to hire a detective to look into this, a private investigator person. I'm not sure what their title was. So
probably private investigator.
Yeah. So they hired a private investigator, but he disappeared completely without a trace.
What?
Yeah.
I got chills again.
Like that happened. Either he found something and was murdered because of it, maybe the mob or something.
Oh my god.
I mean, or realistically, he probably just ran away with money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like he just disappeared, and that was the last thing. And they still have a memorial and a sign hanging up that, like, you know, we're waiting for our children to come home, and they still to this day. There's only one of the siblings who's still alive, and she's still like, I know my family is out there.
That's so crazy.
It's really sad.
That's heartbreaking.
Yep. And that's what I got.
Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy. You don't think, just hearing the beginning of it, that it's going to be that much. That intense just for a house fire.
Yeah.
So, what was his name? George?
George.
Yeah. So he was really popular?
Yeah. They were really like strong members of the community, and everyone like really loved them. They were like they were like the, he He was like Mr. Rogers, like he was,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Yeah.
You know, what it, yeah.
I'm just interested. Like, he was against Mussolini?
Yeah.
So how would that get back to him? You know? Like, why
Well,
would
if they're
that...
talking to people
That
about
is
it.
I guess.
I mean, he had very strong beliefs. I'm assuming that he was outspoken and talked to people. But also this was, like I said, it was an Italian community of immigrants. So I would like to think that a lot of them, you know, they moved to America. Obviously, they were trying to get out.
Yeah, while you were actually talking about that, I actually looked it up, and, like, a third of the population, I want to say, like, in that time, in, like, the 1920s, they had, like, 1 million people, and 62,000 of them were immigrants
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And so I have a feeling that, like, that was, like, a really big Italian place. Yeah, so if he got to Mussolini, and Mussolini was just like, F this guy, let's off him kind of thing. So what if it was government that went down to the mob?
Yeah.
Because Italians, you know, I'm going to get killed.
But why didn't they kill him? Why did they kill his kids?
Because you want a person to suffer.
Send a message.
Suffering is way better than just killing someone. Killing someone is instant, but having them suffer, 5 of their kids died.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And, like, he was a really good father. Like, he really loved his children.
Yeah.
So
That's
like,
gotta be, that probably is worse
I've
than dying.
heard from so many people that once you become a parent, you would do anything for your children.
Yeah.
Like, you would die for them kind of thing.
That's
so
sad.
Not
I
just,
feel
like just one, it's 5 of his kids.
Yeah. And he had 9 kids.
And not to know what happened to them, that would drive probably someone insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, imagine getting rid of 5 of your 9 children.
Oh.
You would be torn up.
I would be,
Yeah.
dead beyond belief. Die of a broken heart, you know?
Going all practical magic on us over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, the heart that they found in the house was like a pig's heart, so. Yeah.
Oh, so
It was like an animal.
Nice.
Yeah, like it was fake.
So. It wasn't a real person's heart. Like, the fire chief didn't go murder someone to, like, reassure the family.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Go get a corpse.
Okay,
heart.
so what
It's
if
basically
it was,
like
all of those theories? Like
Yeah,
the first one?
like a mix of all of them.
Yeah.
Well, that it was electrical fire.
Oh, well, that's total BS.
Not that one.
Yeah.
No, but
Not
like
that one.
I think all those people were worth.
Arson, the mob, the insurance man.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were
Creepy
all
guy
in the
watching
mob.
them.
They
And-
controlled the
Yep.
government and police.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of
No,
government.
the government controlled the mob because the government is
Yeah.
the mob.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, it seems like, it's like all of them combined.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Big cover
Except for the
up.
orphanage one. Yeah, it's like a huge
Really?
cover-up.
That
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't
make
believe
any
that.
sense. The
Yeah.
orphanage one?
It doesn't.
Like, why?
Yeah, it's kind of just.
Like,
I
what's
was
the
like, I'm not...
point of that one?
If you look up a picture of Louis Sodder, he is, like, really attractive.
Yeah,
I'm a
but
horrible person, but
Louis Sodder, that's
only
that's
100 years older than you.
you know what? I still have a chance.
That's supposedly, though, that's a picture he sent his mom.
Mhm.
So, like, if it's actually him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
But he looks attractive.
So we'll put it on our page, but this is...
He's a good-looking person.
So this is his picture of him when he's older, and this is the picture of the boy when he's younger.
Oh.
He's a cutie.
So they're like, yeah, I mean, they're both
possible.
of Italian descent, but
They look similar, yeah.
It's still pretty rare.
Yeah.
yeah,
This is a lot of really interesting things. I love going
Weird.
through this.
weird pieces of it that are like, what about that random phone call from the woman? Like, what did that do?
Yeah.
Like,
What if
that's
it was like a
so
warning?
weird.
Or it was them trying to see, you know,
Like if
how
they were
much
home?
they could get away with before, like, or testing that the phones worked before they cut the wires.
Just dance, it'll be okay. Da da do do and just dance. Spin that record, babe. Da da do do and just dance, dance,
It's only 3 a.m.
dance, dance. You want to talk?
Actually, I
about
just want to say, like, a second.
that? Okay.
If it was Alice, for some reason I feel like it was Alice that she had said, Alice is a 5-letter word, and 5 of their children were missing. Ooh, aliens.
Aliens. Aliens.
Aliens.
Aliens. We did the alien meme
Aliens.
hand motion. Okay.
All right.
You should just put that as your cover on your page on Facebook or something like that.
Yep. But then two
Yeah.
of them
Yes.
with our faces on that.
Just mirror image it and just aliens.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. We'll do that.
Okay.
So, if you guys want to write in and tell us some
Please,
crazy
please.
stories, please, we would love that.
Do
Because
it.
we love hearing your stories.
Our email is
twintheoriespod@gmail.com.
we can be followed on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Twin Theories Pod on Twitter and Instagram. On Facebook, Twin Theories Podcast. And we have a website too.
Yep.
www.twintheoriespodcast.com.
Donate to Patreon. That helps us support our podcast. And then you can listen on Google Play, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud,
YouTube.
and iHeartRadio.
And yeah, that's it. We also, I'm not sure if it's going to be out. Probably not. But we
Are we recording a crossover episode?
we're recording a crossover episode. So we
Yay.
were going to mention this a few episodes ago, but we wanted to confirm the details. So us and Brooke and Sam in a paranormal road trip, we are actually doing a crossover episode. They are going to be on our podcast and we're going to be on theirs.
Yay.
So it's going to be exciting. We'll be recording that soon and it'll be super exciting. So check out their podcast. It's really awesome. And yeah, that's that.
All right. We are twins.
And these are our theories.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. Maybe we should pause it and go back so I can hear what I'm talking about.
Oh
We
my
are
god.
never gonna be done recording.
I'm gonna
this.
murder everyone.
Kelly,
Alright.
I
And then
love
you're
you.
gonna come back and haunt me.